White Mountain Baseball. I am Greg Chubbs alongside Punt Cooley. At a little overcast, slight rain coming down right now for today's Division III contest between the visiting Snowflake Lobos and the home team, Sholo Cougars. We'll cover Ace Hardware's keys to the game today. Punt, you talked to Snowflake a little bit earlier. You want to start with them?
Sure, absolutely. Well, the visiting Lobos, of course, at the top of the heat here in this section this year. I talked with Coach Craner, who, helped coach Sholo last year, so there's some ties between these two teams, and he, of course, knows them fairly well. He feels the big key for them today is just tight fielding. They're going to bring their ace today, and Tyler Hansen. He'll start the game for the Lobos, and they're looking, of course, for a good outing out of him, although he did say, too, that if he could pull him after 3 or 4 innings, he would feel really good about that because they're expecting Snowflake, expecting to be in that first round of the state playoffs, which starts this Saturday. So he wanted to not have Hansen have to go too deep into the game. So those are the big keys for Snowflake. And then on the Sholo side, you had talked with them, and I think one of the things they mentioned is they wanted to jump on this Lobo team early and jump on Hansen early like they apparently did in their first matchup this season, where they were able to get out to a quick, big, early lead. Unfortunately, they didn't win that game, but they feel that's one of their biggest keys. And then, of course, just playing solid defense through the game. That was a key in their last game with Blue Ridge. They felt like that was an area they wanted to tighten up on. They did a good job of that, so I'm sure that's going to be part of today's objective as well.
And that's going to be even more today with the rain coming down. The ball's going to be getting wet, and looks like we're ready to start here at Sholo. That was your Ace Hardware keys to the game. On the mound for the Cougars will be Cade Smith. First batter for Snowflake is Tyler Hansen, the junior, who, as you said, the ace will be on the mound today for the Lobos. First pitch is fouled off to the left side. Pitch number 2 is high, so we've got a 1-1 count.
Well, both of those first 2 pitches from Cade Smith a little up in the zone. And then the third pitch, another fastball up over high pitch, fouled off by Hansen to go 0-2.
Got the Copeland brothers doing our game today. Men in black today. Smith delivers. Even the count 2-2 to Hansen.
Well, this is the last home game, actually the last game of the season, regular season for the Sholo Cougars before the tournament starts, and actually also senior day. So we opened the day up with the seniors for the Sholo team, and there's a ton of them being recognized before the start of the game.
The next pitch to Hansen is a ball for a full count. Yeah, as you were saying, Sholo's sitting at number 20. I think they really need to get the win today. The way that bracket is set up and the PowerPoints, the way it reads, you can never really understand it from day to day. I know the other day, Snowflake last week beat Blue Ridge as the number 10 seed, and the next day they were dropped to 12.
Right. So, well, and there's all these other sections, of course, that are finishing up the season, so you'd hate to be that close to the bubble.
Smith delivers ball 4 in the dirt as the rain starts to come down even harder.
Well, in the rain, we, of course, had clouds most of the afternoon today, most of them hanging off to the east, but now it's starting to drift in over the field. And literally right when they decided to start the game is when the first raindrop started dropping. Now it's coming down a little bit harder. Not terribly hard rain, but still visible from the bleachers.
They bring out a hoodie to Hansen to try to stay warm before he gets out there to have to throw. Next batter for the Lobos will be Caden Irvin, a senior, playing center field today for the Lobos. Looking down to Coach Clay Hathaway, who is the son of Sholo's head coach, Bill Hathaway. So you got a little bit going on. As you said, Josh used to coach here, Clay used to coach here, and now his dad is the head coach. Irvin bunts it to the pitcher, who fields it and throws it over the first baseman's head. The runner from first gets all the way to third base, and the batter will advance to second base on the throwing error.
Well, in that gap between the pitching mound and third base, the bunt goes down a little towards the pitching mound, but still deadens it enough to get a good jump down the line to first base. And then, of course, the bat throw by Cade Smith to first. We end up with runners second and third, as you say, so scoring position, both of them. No one out. So a good start here for the Snowflake Lobos here in the first inning.
So Smith has runners at second and third. Tanner Crosby up to bat for the Lobos. First pitch in the dirt outside to the backstop. And Hansen comes in to score from third base for the first run of the afternoon for the Lobos.
Yeah, tough start there for Cade Smith. That pitch outside, he was intentionally trying to paint that outside corner, and it just gets away from him, gets away from the catcher, Bradley Clark, goes all the way back to the backstop. So an easy jog in for the pitcher for Snowflake, Tyler Hansen, coming in from third base.
1-0 Lobos. The pitch from Smith, low and inside. Ball number 2. The rain coming down here at Sholo High School. Smith on the mound, Clark behind the plate. The pitch. A slow roller to the right side. The first baseman fields it, looks at the play at home, decides not to throw the ball, gets the out at first base. The Lobos are now ahead 2-0.
That's a great piece of hitting there. Hits, behind the runner, obviously, hitting over towards first base. Not a super hard hit ball, but enough to, once that first baseman fields it, gives a look to third, but decides to go ahead and get the easy out at first base.
The number 4 hitter for the Lobos, Junior Fox, a sophomore who is playing first base today, sees the first pitch high and away as the rain decides to let up a little bit for the time being. Smith from the full windup, nobody on base, delivers pitch number 2 to Fox. Called for a strike, evening the count at 1-1.
That's a tough pitch there. It starts outside and finishes even further outside.
Clark calls timeout to go talk to his battery mate on the mound.
Well, Cade Smith on those fastballs, as we said with that first hitter, he's throwing them up high a little, and I'm guessing that might be part of the discussion. He wants to get those, Bradley Clark trying to talk him into getting those pitches down more into the strike zone and not falling behind these hitters. Snowflake, a very good hitting ball club. I think the team averaged over 360 for the group. So, they're not the kind of guys that you want to be playing from behind as a pitcher.
So Fox sees the pitch low. 3-1 count on Fox. You got 1 out in the top of the first inning with the Lobos leading 2-0. Smith from the windup delivers foul ball straight back. Full count on Fox. Fox liked that pitch up in the eyes. Looked like a big beach ball coming in.
Yeah, that was a high pitch. But, ahead in the count, wanted to go ahead and take a good cut at it.
The payoff pitch up high again. Last pitch at the same spot he swung at. This time was able to let it go by. So that'll be Smith's second walk of the inning.
Smith, again, consistently missing pretty high with his fastball. That'll bring Coach out at the dugout to give him a talk. Again, we're only here in the first with 2 quick runs. Snowflake Lobos putting their first 2 guys on, and they end up scoring. And now we get our third runner at first base, third runner of the inning, first inning, with only 1 out.
1 out, 2-0 the Lobos in the first inning. This will give us a second to talk a little bit about the bracket coming up that starts Saturday at the Surprise Baseball Complex. Right now, the Cougars are the number 20 team according to the AIA rankings, and the Lobos are number 12. So the way we were reading it is the division winners will get a spot in the tournament, but
they'll
nothing
be automatically seeded into the tournament. What you don't know is where they'll be seeded. They're going to do that based on PowerPoints and other things, of course. But clearly Snowflake at the top of the heat here in this section, and that's, Coach Craner saying earlier they expect to play on Saturday, which is that first round down in Phoenix in Surprise. And that's one of the reasons why he wants to try to limit innings for his starter today, Tyler Hansen.
And I believe Snowflake will play Winslow tomorrow also, so that could be a lot in regards to the section play.
Yep.
At bat for the Lobos is senior catcher Matt Lamb. Sees the first 2 pitches from Smith for strikes, so he's in the hole 0-2. Smith is going from the stretch. We have Junior Fox on first base. The pitch from Smith, curveball. Lamb pops it up to the left side. The shortstop's coming over. Sam Tate calls off the third baseman to make the catch along the left field foul line for out number 2.
Well, as you say, Logan Barton gliding over. He was the closest to the ball on that third base line, of course, but good call by
Three hit on
Sante.
deck.
Coming
Stewart
in from
into the
behind,
hole.
Barton to call him off and gather up
down,
that
run on
high
first.
fly ball. So that's out number 2 with a runner on first for the Lobos. Tyler Claridge, the shortstop, coming up to hit.
Tyler gets in the box. Smith gets the sign from Clark, delivers a curveball. Stayed hanging high. Claridge liked it, swung and missed for strike 1. You have Junior Fox at first base for the Lobos. The Lobos are leading the Cougars top of the first inning by 2 runs. Smith and Clark are your battery for the Cougars. Smith set, delivers. Swing and a miss. The runner goes. The throw from Clark is a little bit late, and the stolen base by Junior Fox.
Interesting, Fox taking a quick jump, then freezing on that pitch, but then going as soon as it goes by Claridge. Claridge, bringing a 324 average into today's game. Not at the top of the heat by any stretch, but certainly close to the team average, so he can move runners around.
Well, here's his chance. Down in the count 0-2, runner in scoring position. The pitch from Smith. Claridge sees ball 1 in the dirt. Great block by Bradley Clark, keeping the runner at second base. So with 2 outs, top of the first inning, Tyler Claridge, the Lobo shortstop, is at the plate with a 1-2 count. Junior Fox at second base for the Lobos. Cade Smith sets, delivers the pitch. Foul ball straight back. Count remains 1-2.
And again, a fastball up high in the zone. Claridge goes ahead and takes a cut at it, just slices the very bottom of that ball to foul it off. But again, with that runner on second, Claridge in a position here to be able to move him around if he can get a hit.
Cade throws this pitch away to even up the count, 2-2. So Claridge is working Smith. Good at bat. He's seen about 5 or 6 pitches already.
Yeah, the key for Smith here, he's at a little bit of a rough start. He can't afford to let this hitter go here, with the full count.
The pitch to Claridge. Claridge swings, a check swing, and he's got a base hit down the right field line. Here comes the runner from second base. The right fielder can't pick it up, bobbles it. The runner goes to second base, slides head first, safe at second base. So the Lobos bring in the 3rd run of the inning on a little check swing blooper. Falls in for a base hit for Claridge.
Good hit by Claridge again, not a full swing, but checks it down just kind of opposite fields it right over the first baseman's head, drops in. Jace Brewer not able to cleanly pick it up on that bounce and allowing Claridge, who does not hesitate, turning first, goes hard into second. He'll be safe. So Claridge picking up the RBI. Good piece of hitting there.
Taryn Reedhead now at the plate for the Lobos. Sees first pitch low in the dirt, swings and misses for strike 1. Taryn playing right field today for the Lobos. Out of second base, Tyler Claridge. Cade Smith for the Cougars on the mound. He sets, he looks back, delivers a floater that stayed high and away to even the count at 1-1.
Taryn, a sophomore, brings in a 365 average, so good. He's above the team average, doing a good job for the Lobos this year, but he was completely fooled with that first pitch.
Next pitch is low, he swings at it. Ground ball to the first baseman for the 3rd out of the inning. So at the end of half an inning of play, the Lobos are leading the Cougars 3-0. You're listening to Sholo Ford's presentation of high school baseball on iTalk 106.7 FM and on the World Wide Web at iTalk1067.com.
Hanson on the mound for the Lobos today. Matthew Lamb catching today.
Welcome back to Sholo High School, ladies and gentlemen.
Cougars.
Again, this is Greg Chavez with Punt Cooley covering
Deck, Sam Tate in the hole.
Division III baseball, the Snowflake Lobos at the Sholo Cougars. Don't forget that Ace Hardware has a 24/7 locksmith. The next time you're locked out of your car or just need a key replaced day or night, any time of the week, call Ace Hardware. Your helpful place with 3 locations in Pine Top, Overguard, and Sholo. So going into the bottom of the second inning, Jace Brewer is at the plate for the Cougars. Cougars are down 3-0. On the mound for the Lobos, Tyler Hansen. First pitch is a ball. Second pitch down low that Brewer fouls off for strike 1.
As we mentioned earlier, Tyler Hansen, the ace for the Lobos this year, he throws 4 pitches pretty solidly, fastball, curveball, slider, and a change. And, Coach Craner certainly wanting a good outing of him today, but not a long game in terms of innings if he can avoid it.
Well, Brewer sees the third pitch and connects pretty well, but just gets under it and flies out to the center fielder for out number 1. That is Caden Irvin out in center field making the catch for the first out. The second batter today for the Cougars will be Garrett Means. We'll go around the horn real quick for the Lobos. You have Tyler Hansen on the mound. His battery mate is Matt Lamb. At first base is Junior Fox. Second base, Jake Stewart. Shortstop is Tyler Claridge. Ty Pollock at third. In the outfield from left to right is Tanner Crosby, Caden Irvin, and Taryn Reedhead. That rounds out the defense for the Lobos today. Next half inning, we'll cover the defense for the Cougars. First pitch to Garrett Means is fouled back for strike 1. The next pitch from Hansen, the breaking ball that Means swings over and misses 0-2.
That's the big curveball from Hansen. He has a lot of break on it. Not a pure 12-6 curve, but definitely a lot of break, and fooling Means that time.
The next pitch is another off-speed pitch that stays outside for ball 1.
That's a change, maybe with a little break on it, but as you say, just a little outside. The catcher, Matt Land, trying to frame it, but not getting the call.
Hansen coming from the left side delivers, and a swing and a miss by Means for out number 2.
Well, that's a tough combination. He feeds him that big change to the outside half of the plate, and then on that last pitch comes in high and tight with that really crisp fastball and getting Means to swing and miss for the strikeout.
Stepping up to the plate for the Cougars is senior Sam Tate, playing shortstop today. Sees the first pitch up and away for ball 1.
Tate also the leading hitter for these Cougars, bringing in a .516 average tonight's game. So obviously doing a very good job for the Cougars all season long.
I think Sam is one of the senior leaders for this team, both offensively and defensively. Sees the next pitch and fouls it off to the right side. Hansen looks for the signal, gets what he wants, delivers a breaking ball that misses for ball 2.
There's that curve again. Again, he follows up the fastball up high in the zone with that breaking ball. He starts it outside trying to get it break over the middle, but just too low that time.
The pitch from Hansen. Tate swings, a line drive to the right side. Reedhead can't get it, falls in for a base hit. Tate rounds first base. The throw comes into second, and a single for Sam Tate. Great piece of hitting.
Yeah, great hitting by Tate. Does not hit that ball flush. He kind of had it fisted off the handle a little bit, but still with decent power out into right field, gets it to drop. So, tough pitch to hit, but credit Tate for getting around in the zone and being able to get that thing to drop.
Coming to the plate for the Cougars is the catcher, Bradley Clark, batting from the left side of the plate. Hansen sets and delivers. First pitch appears to be outside for ball 1. The rain has gone away for now. We have a little bit of sun shining on the field. If we can stay like this, it'll be a great day. Oh, and the pickoff move. The runner's caught in a rundown, gets picked off, and now there we go, and caught in the rundown, and he is thrown out for out number 3. You're listening to Sholo Ford's presentation of high school baseball on iTalk 106.7 FM and listening live on the web at iTalk1067.com.
This is my town. Sholo is football and party town, especially when you show up at Sholo Ford's Great American Tailgate event. Even if you just got your license, show up for the lowest price and longest warranty. Brand new Fords, all with our lifetime engine warranty. Not 3 years or 6, not 10 years or 100,000 miles. No way. Our warranty is forever. Come into Sholo Ford this week. Take delivery of a new Ford or pre-owned vehicle. New 2014 Ford F-150 Super Cruise, just $30,495. New 2014 Ford Focus SE, just $19,995. Or new 2014 Ford Fiestas, $13,995. Plus, every new Sholo Ford truck comes ready to tailgate with a Yeti cooler. Sholo Ford's Great American Tailgate event. It's party time at the east end of the Deuce.
Oh, this is my town.
And we are back to Sholo High School and high school baseball. The visiting Snowflake Lobos are in the lead right now, 3-0 over the home team, Sholo Cougars. Going into the top of the second inning for the Lobos, we'll have Jake Stewart, Ty Pollock, and Tyler Hansen in that order. On the mound for the Cougars is Cade Smith and his battery mate today, Bradley Clark.
Pollock the hitter, Hanson on deck.
As soon as we get a chance, we will cover the defense for you, ladies and gentlemen, on how the Cougars are set up today. First pitch to Stewart is a strike. For the Cougars today, we got Cade Smith on the mound, Bradley Clark behind the plate. At first base, we have Nick Reedhead, Dustin Gaskell at second, Sam Tate at short, and Logan Barton at third base. In the outfield from left to right is Jerem Fawcett, Garrett Means, and Jace Brewer. Cade delivers another pitch to Stewart, who is able to foul it off down the third base line past Coach Craner, puts himself in a hole, 0-2. Smith gets the sign from Clark from the windup and delivers the pitch, an off-speed pitch, another ground ball to the left side. Count remains 0-2 to Stewart.
I'm sorry, and Greg, as you mentioned, we're streaming today the ball game on Sholo Channel 56. You can see it on Monday and Friday at 7, Saturdays at 1:30 p.m., and also on italk.com as well. I'd like to quickly go through our student producers and audio and graphics and cameras. Our technical director today, Sky Perez. Audio, Nicole Jones, I believe it is. Graphics, Isaiah Miller. Cameras today, Stephanie Fragoso, Dakota Hayes, Joseph Pierce, Dominic Stem, and our executive producer, Brian Hanlon. So thanks to all of them.
And Stewart sees the next pitch for ball 4. And Smith is on his way to first base. Another walk from Cade Smith. Coming to the plate is Ty Pollock, your junior third baseman today for the Lobos. Stewart at first base. No outs, top of the second inning. Cade Smith from the stretch looks to Clark. Checks the runner. He sets. And the pitch. Swing and a miss by Pollock.
That's a great pitch there by Smith. Starts it outside, and it breaks even further outside. But, you know, that's just a good setup by Cade Smith to get him to chase that bad pitch.
Smith looks in, delivers. Batter squares to bunt, pulls back. We got to throw down to first base. The runner's back safely.
Well, a good idea by Bradley Clark. Quick toss, and we've seen him do that before in earlier games. He's not bashful about trying to gun down runners with big leads. And in that case, you know, the timing was good. It was just his throw was a little high. Had to get that first baseman to stretch up to catch it.
The pitch from Smith. Batter squares again, puts a bunt down the first base side. Smith picks it up, tosses over to first base to get out number 1. So Stewart advances on the sacrifice bunt by Pollock for out number 1.
And again, good bunting by Snowflake Lobos, moving these runners around. Smith does it right, you know, gets the easy out, scoops it up, and just underhand toss to first base to get that easy out. But meanwhile, the Lobos putting another runner in scoring position here in the second.
And we are back to the top of the order for the Lobos. today's pitcher, Tyler Hansen, at the plate. Also a lefty, such as the kid behind the plate, Clark, at least from the batting side of it anyway. Hansen hits it to the left side. Foul ball. So just a long strike. And we've gone from dark clouds and rain in the first inning to super sunny, and the right side of the field is going to have a tough time with anything hitting the air, sun coming right at them.
So that rain we got was actually pretty good in terms of just holding the dust down, and we'll see what the rest of, I mean, we still have a lot of dark clouds around us, so hopefully it'll hold firm here.
Hansen sees the next pitch and holds off of the outside pitch to even the count at 1-1.
Either a big change there or maybe a breaking ball, but Hansen, smart hitter, not chasing it outside the zone.
Smith trying to keep Hansen off balance. The pitch spikes it in the dirt. Great stop by Clark, keeping it from the backstop.
Excellent job by Bradley Clark. That's an example there of where if that ball gets through, you got a runner at second, easily putting him on to third. But great job by Bradley Clark, just keeping those knees down, digging deep to hold it in front.
Hansen ahead in the count, 2 balls, 1 strike. Smith delivers. Ball high, 3-1 to Hansen. Jake Stewart at second base. Got a base on balls and would advanced over by a sacrifice fly from Ty Pollock to put him in scoring position. Smith sets, delivers, and Hansen swings out of his shoes and can't catch up with that one.
Yeah, it's a big fat pitch over the middle of the zone, up high in the zone. Hansen, as you say, just taking a big cut.
Full count, 1 out, runner on second base. Hansen at the plate, Smith delivers. Again, Hansen takes a good cut and just misses it, fouls it straight back.
That pitch a little inside. Hansen having to go off the, off the handle, off the fist a little bit. But credit Cade Smith not giving up here, moving his pitches around.
And Hansen fouls off another one. Great at bat by Hansen, making Smith work.
Making him work. Smith, meanwhile, earlier we saw him missing high pretty consistently. Now he's moving side to side, changing his pitches up.
Hansen sees the next pitch and swings. Ground ball down the right side, foul. So we remain at full count. Looking at today's Sholo lineup punt, we have obviously 9 kids on the field, 1 kid DHing. They don't have any substitutes today. That's their entire team.
It's amazing, to have that lean of a team, and consider how well they're doing. I mean, that's good job, obviously, by the coaching staff keeping things held together. When you don't have that many players to work with, it can make it tough, especially on the pitching mound. You don't have a lot of options sometimes.
And then not only pitching, depending on who you have to bring in next, that could put a kid in a position he's not used to playing. And Hansen is struck out looking for out number 2.
Yeah, Hansen not buying it, but that's a pretty good pitch for Cade Smith. Obviously painting that very outside edge of the plate.
Crosby on deck, Fox in the hole.
Hansen not thinking it was there, but regardless, the home umpire decides it is, so he gets the called third strike.
Well, he's been there all afternoon, and you can't. If it's that close for the umpire to call it, you should be swinging the bat.
Absolutely.
So with 2 outs, Caden Irvin, the center fielder, comes to the plate for the Lobos. Cade Smith gets his first strikeout of the day. 2 down, top of the second inning. Lobos leading 3-0.
And Caden bringing a 338 average into today's game. That's with 71 at-bats. He's one of the highest in terms of at-bats for the Lobos.
Smith looks into Clark. Clark calls his pitch. And the pitch is high. Caden thought about it for a second, was able to hold off ahead in the count 3-0.
Well, and Irvin's leading the team in walks this season with 12, so obviously a hitter with a good eye. He's not going to be chasing many bad pitches.
So they do have an open base at first base. And Smith delivers strike 1.
That was a fat pitch there right over the middle of the plate. But Irvin deciding to hold off.
Like you said, this kid obviously sees a lot of pitches, leading his team in walks. And swings at a pitch low and away, fouls it off to bring the count full. So Smith working a little bit harder this inning, throwing quite a few pitches so far to the fourth batter he's faced this inning. Full count. Irving at the plate. Smith sets and delivers. And the pitch is low for ball 4.
Good eye by Irvin. That's another pitch that starts up around the knees, maybe a little above the knees, but ends up breaking down. He's able to hold off to get that walk. So putting Sholo in a little bit of a press situation here. 2 runners on. Of course, we got 2 outs. But, these Lobo bats have been able to produce runs this season. So it's going to be tough duty here for Cade Smith.
Tanner Crosby, the batter for the Lobos. Runners on first and second, 2 outs. Lobos in the lead, 3-0. Top of the second inning. Cade Smith on the mound for the Cougars. He delivers right down the middle for strike 1.
Yeah,
if Crosby was looking for a pitch to hit, there it was.
Yeah, that was another good pitch. Maybe a little on the outside half, but otherwise right over the plate.
Smith delivers another pitch right on the corner.
Yeah, that was good. He moves it out a little bit further, does Cade Smith. Gets the call for the strike. So, again, good ball movement by Smith.
We'll see if these batters can adjust to that strike zone. It looks like obviously there's going to be a lot of outside pitches called for strikes so long as it's consistent, which it has been. That's what you're looking for. And he swings at the next pitch, which is a breaking ball low and away for strike 3 in the 3rd out. So at the end of 1.5, the Lobos lead the Cougars 3-0. You're listening to Sholo Ford's presentation of high school baseball on iTalk 106.7 FM and on the World Wide Web at iTalk1067.com.
There's the kick. It's a low line drive. Kicking it up across the 20. He's got some room with the 25. Hammered down at the 30.
Are you a sports fan and business owner? You don't want to pass this up. White Mountain Youth Productions brings you local high school sports produced by high school students.
Gonna go deep, and it's caught. Unbelievable.
Your tax-deductible sponsorship keeps us up and running and gets you noticed.
He'll gallop into the end zone.
Call 928-532-4160.
Need a fireplace? Ace has that. Need barbecue grills? Ace has that. Need paint? Ace is the best place for that. Need a chainsaw or weed eater? Ace has that too. Ace can even fix your chainsaw and your weed eater. Ace Hardware has everything you need for your home improvement project. They even have a 24/7 locksmith. Locked out of your home or car, their mobile unit will come to you. That's your helpful place. Ace Hardware of the White Mountains in Pinetop, Overguard, and Sholo.
Welcome back to Sholo High School. We are watching and telling you about the game today between the visiting Snowflake Lobos and the home team Sholo Cougars. The first pitch to Bradley Clark is a soft ground ball to the first base side. First baseman picks it up, tosses over to the pitcher for out number 1.
Good job by Hansen, covering that time. That ball hit to the first base side, wastes no time, drifting over, takes the good toss from the first baseman, J.R. Fox, to get the out.
Coming up for the Cougars, senior third baseman, Logan Barton. Tyler Hansen from the windup, from the left side, delivers to Barton. First pitch, strike 1. We were talking about the sections earlier, Punt, and we kind of have that in front of us here as far as the leaders for each section and where they rank as far as the PowerPoints as of this morning. And Fountain Hill's the number 1 overall seed in the state right now. At number 3 is Wilcox. Sahuarita is at 6. Yuma Catholic at 7. Winslow at 13, actually behind Snowflake, winning their section right now. And they will play tomorrow, as we spoke about a little bit earlier. And the final team is Page, is winning their section right now, although they are behind Chin Lee in the PowerPoint rankings. So after everything ends tomorrow, we should see the final results come out on Thursday and where everybody's going to sit going into the tournament Saturday afternoon.
Right, and regardless, we talked earlier about Snowflake, Winslow, and Blue Ridge from this section clearly being in a position to get into that first round and get seeded into the tournament. Sholo maybe a little bit more on the bubble, but Payson as well. But if things work out, and you had mentioned too, this game today for Sholo is huge in terms if they can get a victory, that'll put them in much better position in terms of if they were to lose the game, then they would really be on a bubble.
Yeah, and as we were talking, Logan Barton swung and missed for strike 3 to put it at 2 outs in the inning. Coming to the plate is Dustin Gaskell, who sees ball 1. Dustin is playing second base today for the Cougars. Next pitch, swings, had an inside pitch, is able to foul it off to the right side for strike 1.
Dustin, a senior, brings a .355 average into today's game. Among the leaders of this Cougar club in hits for the year.
Dustin steps back in the box. Tyler Hansen gets the signal, delivers. Pitch is up and away, ball 2. Would really like to get this win today because you never know with the way the rankings set. I mean, teams are still playing today. Teams still have to play tomorrow. They want to get themselves a win and not be sitting on that bubble hoping they get to Saturday.
Well, in a lot of these sections, too, there's not a big difference between the 1 and the 2, and sometimes even the 1, 2, and 3 teams in those sections. So depending on how their last few games finish out, you could get a fair amount of movement in terms of where teams are ultimately seated.
So with that, the Cougars are in the bottom of the second inning, trailing the Lobos 3-0. Dustin Gaskell is at the plate with a 2-2 count. The pitch from Hansen.
Nice.
Breaking ball. Gaskell chops it to the pitcher. Fields it, turns and throws, but he throws wide. Gaskell rounds the throw, first base.
Oh.
And the throw back is just a little bit late. Gaskell's able to get under the tag, so
yeah,
Gaskell
dodging a bullet there. You know, he takes that big turn, seeing the ball go past the first baseman, but credit Snowflake and their defense with the backup from the outfield. Great job by the outfielder getting in there to back up. And in the process, could have hung Gaskell out to dry, but smartly, Gaskell goes hard into first, real low with that belly slide and able to get under the tag.
Gaskell came up a little bit slow there, was trying to stretch out his right arm, and Coach McNeil working with him on his right shoulder, so hopefully he can stay in the game as they don't have any substitutes today. Jaron Fawcett at the plate for the Cougars. Sees the first pitch low and inside for strike one. Correction, that was ball 1, and then Hansen comes back in and moves it in just a little bit to get the strike, so even up the count at 1-1. And the pickoff attempt at first base. Gaskell's back in time.
And we saw Hansen in that first inning, the first inning get Sam Tate moving to second. Well, he has a pretty good move to first.
The next pitch to Fawcett, up in his eyes, swings and misses, can't get on top of it. Count 1 ball, 2 strikes to Fawcett, 2 outs in the bottom of the second inning. Hansen looking at the runner first and the pickoff attempt. Gaskell's back in time.
Well, and Gaskell, you know, he's one to try to steal bases, among the leaders for these Cougars this year in stolen bases.
Oh, and Fawcett has the hack at that pitch and misses for strike 3 on the third out. So at the end of 2 complete, the Cougars are trailing the Lobos 3-0 as you're listening to Sholo Ford's presentation of high school baseball on iTalk 106.7 FM and worldwide on the web at iTalk1067.com. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Sholo High School. We also welcome back a little bit of the rain as number 14, Junior Fox, comes to the plate to face Cade Smith in the top of the third inning. Lobos leading the Cougars 3-0. Some of today's sponsors for today's game are Ace Hardware of the White Mountains, Mountain Mobile Auto Glass, Sunrise Park Resort, Sholo Ford, and Beeler Orthodontics. Next pitch from Smith in the dirt for ball 2 to Fox.
So Smith will do a little grooming on the mound there, not liking the way his foot's landing out in front.
Next pitch right down the middle to Fox, who watches it go by to bring the count to 2 balls and 1 strike.
So whatever landscaping he did worked that time. Back into the strike zone there with a good pitch.
And again, the high pop fly to the left side. Barton at the fence looking up. Oh, and just misses the ball as he runs into the fence while trying to jump and catch it and just gets over his head.
Yeah, that ball comes right down that fence, as you say, the field fence on that third base side. Makes a little lunge at it to try to get the mid on it, but just misses it. So
well, we see Logan's dad over there. We'll have to see if he was talking to him, let him know how much room he had.
Yeah.
So, supposed to help him out over there. The next pitch to Fox, and it's a grounder up the middle. Tate fields it, makes the throw, and gets him. Wasn't sure if Reed had stayed on the bag, but apparently he did for out number 1.
Well, Nick Reedhead did have to drift over into the outfield side a little to grab that throw, but good piece of work by the infield for the Cougars there.
Matt Lamb, the Lobo catcher, coming to the plate. Smith delivers, and Lamb slices it off to the right side for strike 1.
And Lamb hitting .318 coming into today's game. Among the leaders for this Lobo club for RBIs.
The next pitch is low and away in the dirt that gets by Clark. Even in the count at 1-1. Smith from the windup. And Lamb swings at an inside pitch and misses for strike 2.
Yeah, that was not a good pitch, and he knew it as soon as he cut loose on it. Kind of kicking himself a little bit.
Smith shakes off Clark. Says okay for the next one, delivers. Clark is able to block the pitch in the dirt to even the count at 2-2.
So a smart pitch by Smith there, trying to get the hitter Lamb to chase another bad one, but Lamb not going for it there.
1 out, top of the 3rd inning. Matt Lamb at the plate for the Lobos. Smith
Great
delivers
pitch.
strike 3, looking.
Awesome pitch by Cade Smith. After going low on a couple of pitches, comes hard to the outside, and I mean the very outside edge of that home plate to get the called third strike. So a good piece of pitching there by Cade Smith.
So that's the 3rd strikeout for Cade Smith of the afternoon. Bringing Tyler Claridge to the plate with 2 outs. Top of the 3rd inning, Cougars behind 3-0. First pitch bounces at about 58 feet and gets by Clark.
So Clark again continuing to do a little work on the mound. We've get a little bit of rain, nothing really heavy, but something with his landing spot on that, as he pushes off the rubber where his lead foot lands, he's been grooming that part of the mound.
Claridge pops it up to the right side. First baseman Reedhead is under it and makes the catch for the 3rd out of the inning. So the end of 2.5, Lobos 3, Cougars 0 on Sholo Ford's presentation of high school baseball on iTalk 106.7 FM and worldwide on the web at iTalk1067.com.
This is my town.
Sholo is football and party town, especially when you show up at Sholo Ford's Great American Tailgate event. Even if you just got your license, show up for the lowest price and longest warranty. Brand new Fords, all with our lifetime engine warranty. Not 3 years or 6, not 10 years or 100,000 miles. No way. Our warranty is forever. Come into Sholo Ford this week. Take delivery of a new Ford or pre-owned vehicle. New 2014 Ford F-150 Super Cruise, just $30,495. New 2014 Ford Focus SE, just $19,995. Or new 2014 Ford Fiestas, $13,995. Plus, every new Sholo Ford truck comes ready to tailgate with a Yeti cooler. Sholo Ford's Great American Tailgate event. It's party time at the east end of the Deuce.
Oh, this is my town.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Sholo High School. I do have to apologize to the Fox family. The paperwork I got had a J and a R with no dots in between it, so I've been calling him Junior, and the young man's name is JR. So
On the third inning,
to
we
JR
have
Fox and his family, I
Philip
apologize
Johnson,
for that, and we
Reed
will
Head,
get it right the rest of the day.
Deck, Brewer
Coming
Hall.
into the bottom of the third inning, the Cougars are trailing the Lobos 3-0, and at the plate is first baseman Nick Reedhead, who sees strike one. Nick Reedhead finished the last half of the inning by catching a little pop-up that was hit by Claridge. Steps back in, sees the pitch, and fouls it off to the right side.
Reedhead, a senior, as you say, coming into today's game with a 333 average. And Sholo, you know, this is a place in a game, you know, third inning, sure, but they need runners. They were able to put a few on early in the game, but you got to credit Hansen. He's been making it tough in the last couple of innings of allowing Cougars to get guys on. But Sholo, clear being down 3-0, they need to find an inning here where they can get some runners on.
The pitch from Hansen in the dirt. Reedhead swings. The catcher is able to pick it up, throws him out at first base for out number one.
Good job by Matt Lamb behind the plate there, as you say. That pitch swung on and missed, but Lamb able to gather it up, make the clean strike to first base to get the out.
Brewer on
That's the
deck,
fourth
leading the hole.
strikeout today for Tyler Hansen of the Lobos. Coming to the plate for the Cougars, the DH, number 12, Chandler Nicholas. I believe Chandler is a sophomore. Big kid. I'm not sure what Dave is feeding him at home, but that's a pretty big sophomore out there.
Yeah, well, clearly anybody that's going to be hitting in the DH spot's got to have some ability to put the bat on the ball. So we'll see what we can do here. Hansen having a pretty good outing so far for the Lobos.
And Nicholas sees the first two pitches for strikes in the hole early, 0-2. Steps out, takes a deep breath, grabs a little dirt, steps back in. Hansen's ready and delivers. Checks his swing.
Good
Ball
job.
one.
Yeah, good. That's a great pitch by Hansen. Of course, way up in the count. Throws it up high and away, but Nicholas able to not commit on the swing there, so he'll stay alive for one more at least.
And Nicholas is rung up on the next pitch, a breaking ball on the outside corner for strike.
And that's a good curveball we've seen from Hansen. He starts that way outside to begin, and it cuts in right over that outside, very outside edge of the plate.
Means on deck, take
And they'll
one.
ring him up. Well, Chandler Nicholas on that called third strike.
That'll bring us around to the top of the order for the Cougars. Jace Brewer at the plate. First pitch is the same pitch that Hansen just threw to strike out Nicholas for strike one to Brewer.
And he's been placing that curveball really well, way outside to start, and it breaks in and just catches the edge.
And there's strike two on the outer half. Eventually, these players might pick it up. That's going to be a strike all day. And like I said earlier, as far as a coach and a player, that's all you want is consistency back there. And you're getting
Absolutely. There he goes
and
again.
there's the next pitch, strike three. Looking, three pitches on the outside corner, all in the same spot. So Hansen strikes out the side. So at the end of three complete, the Cougars 0, the Lobos 3 on Sholo Ford's presentation of high school baseball on iTalk 106.7 and streaming live on the web at italk1067.com.
Reedhead, you got it? Brewer on deck,
We are back at Sholo High School. Greg Chavez, punt Cooley. Going into the top of the fourth inning, the Lobos leading the Cougars 3-0. First batter up for the Lobos, Taryn Reedhead, number 11, playing right field today. To finish last inning, Tyler Hansen threw 10 pitches, punt, and struck out the side.
Yeah, great piece of pitching by him. And you know, we talk about one of the keys for the Lobos today was to have him had a good outing and a short outing because they're anticipating that first round seeding in the tournament. So he's doing well so far today.
Reedhead pops it up straight up, and Smith is able to dance around the mound a little bit and make the catch for out number 1.
Good job by Smith. He saw it right away going straight up. You know, some teams will prefer to have an infielder come in and take that, but great job by Cade Smith. Stayed right under it to get the out.
He called it from the get-go, and everybody else let him have it. So
Absolutely.
it works, helped himself out. Jake Stewart, second baseman for the Lobos, sees ball one. Correction, that's strike one on the outside corner.
Yeah, big change that time by Cade Smith. Brings it up over the outside edge. Good pitch by him to start out here.
The next pitch to Stewart is low and in the dirt, evens the count at 1-1.
Stewart with the leading average for the Lobos. He's coming into today's game with a 600 batting average. Outstanding work by him. Not as many at-bats, of course, but still to hit 600 in any high school league, you got to be a good hitter for sure.
It doesn't matter where you are in the lineup. If you can hit 600, you're definitely helping your team. Probably sees a lot of pitches in that lower half of the order, ahead in the count 2-1. And he hits a hard ground ball to the third baseman that gets under Barton's glove. Stewart rounds first base as the ball comes back in, so we have an error on the third baseman that allows Stewart to get to first base.
Well hit ball by Stewart, turns on that fastball and hits it directly to Logan Barton. Barton with just a little bit of yips, you know, he lifts that glove anticipating a bounce that wasn't there, so it'll go underneath him. Meanwhile, allowing the runner to get on at first, and Snowflake pretty consistent all game long, getting those early runners on and forcing the issue with these Cougars defensively.
First pitch to Pollock is in the dirt. He swings for strike one. The ball gets away from Clark, but not far enough that Stewart can advance to second base. Pollock steps out of the box, looks down at Coach Hathaway at third base. Steps back in. Smith looks at the runner. Sets, delivers. Got a line shot to the left field. It could be. You got a ball at the fence. The runner coming around third. Coach Hathaway's going to send him. And we're going to have the fourth run today for the Lobos. You get an RBI hit by Ty Pollock, who hits a line shot, one bouncer to the fence.
Yeah, Pollock, big grin, standing out on second, goes in standing up. You know, we had a good cutoff from the outfield, but no play at second. Meanwhile, Stewart scoring on that play. Good wheels by him. So again, the Snowflake Lobo machine continuing to roll here. They've been getting runners on pretty consistently, and when they do get on, they find a way to bring them around.
That brings us back to the top of the Lobo batting order with Tyler Hansen, who is at the plate with one out in the fourth inning, a runner at second base, and the Lobos leading 4-0. Cade Smith on the mound for the Cougars delivers a slow off-speed pitch that probably a changeup because there was no break to that Hansen looks at ball number 2.
We talked about good hitting. Tyler Hansen, not only the starting pitcher, their ace this year, but he's bringing a .506 average into today's game. 32 RBIs on the season, leading the club by a long margin.
And there he is, a line shot to center field, gets over the center fielder's head. Pollock rounds third to score easy. Hansen at second base, looking at coach, and will hold up for a double. Great job hitting by Tyler Hansen, who had 2 hits in a row, one hop to the fence.
Well, that fastball out over the middle of the plate, waist high, and Hansen just tattoos it. Sends the outfielder, Garrett Means, the center fielder, back. And as you say, that one bounce to the fence, just a very well hit ball that time by this pitcher, Hansen. And they'll bring a runner in, Snowflake. Wasey Wood coming in to pinch run for the for the pitcher, Tyler Hansen.
So we got a courtesy runner for the pitcher at second base. Coming to the plate for the Lobos, number 1, Caden Irvin. Smith looks at the runner, sets, delivers, and a swing, foul ball to the right side, strike 1. top of the 4th inning. Lobos leading the Cougars 5-0. At the plate, number 1, Caden Irvin. On the mound, Cade Smith for the Cougars. And a little bit of a fake to second base, just kind of checking him, trying to hold him a little bit closer. Smith gets back on the mound, sets, delivers.
Great pitch that time by Cade Smith. Takes some speed off the pitch, changes speeds quite well there. Completely fools the hitter. So a good pitch there by Cade Smith.
Irvin in the hole, 0-2. The pitch from Smith. Swings in the dirt. Clark throws down to first base to get the out. 2 outs in the inning.
Drop through strike.
Runner at second
Play by
base
Clark,
is the
captain
courtesy
of
runner. I
first
believe he said
base,
Wasey
number
Wood.
1.
Running for Hanson, who got a double.
Excuse me, out
2
number
down.
2.
Top of the 4th,
Brings up
5-0
six.
Lobos.
Crosby to the plate. Fox on
You know, we
on the
talked
hole.
Bradley Clark earlier doing a good job picking up those low pitches. Same true on that last pitch.
The ground ball to shortstop. Tate picks it up, backhands it, and throws the ball in the dirt. First baseman Reedhead can't pick it. And the courtesy runner, Wasey Wood, comes around to score for the Lobos to make that their 6th run of the afternoon. In the meantime, Crosby on the throw as it gets to the right field fence. Correction, the right side. He advances second base on the air.
Well, you know, Sam Tate throws that throw into first base coming off the dirt, but you can't fault him for that, man. His momentum's carrying him away from second out into the outfield, backhanding that grounder just to make the play, and then to have to turn and throw a dart to first. That's a tough throw to make.
In the meantime, 1 pitch from Smith, and J.R. Fox hits a hard ground ball. It bounces right over the third base bag and stays fair to get a double, which scores Tanner Crosby, bringing in their, I believe, their 7th run of the afternoon. So Fox has a stand-up double.
Run number 7 for the Lobos.
Well, you know, and we talked about the momentum sometimes that can get away from you. The Lobos clearly here just finding the ball at the plate, doing a great job of just hitting pitches where they're at, putting them into play, getting some big hits here with guys in scoring position, and able to build a big lead here in the 4th with the Cougars down now 7-0.
2 outs, top of the 4th inning. Lobos leading the Cougars 7-0. At the plate, Matt Lamb, the catcher for the Lobos. First pitch from Smith is away that Clark's able to get a glove on it. Smith looks down at the mound, trying to do a little more grooming work to the dirt.
You know, and earlier you talked about how Sholo's playing 9 guys, 9 of 10 on their roster. And
Lamb pops it up, and Clark is able to get over to the right side to make the catch for out number 3. We'll get right back to you upon after this timeout as we're listening to Sholo Ford's presentation of high school baseball on iTalk 106.7 FM and streaming live on the World Wide Web at iTalk1067.com.
This is my town.
Sholo is football and party town, especially when you show up at Sholo Ford's Great American Tailgate event. Even if you just got your license, show up for the lowest price and longest warranty. Brand new Fords, all with our lifetime engine warranty. Not 3 years or 6, not 10 years or 100,000 miles. No way. Our warranty is forever. Come into Sholo Ford this week. Take delivery of a new Ford or pre-owned vehicle. New 2014 Ford F-150 Super Cruise, just $30,495. New 2014 Ford Focus SE, just $19,995. Or new 2014 Ford Fiestas, $13,995. Plus, every new Sholo Ford truck comes ready to tailgate with a Yeti cooler. Sholo Ford's Great American Tailgate event. It's party time at the east end of the Deuce.
Oh, this is my town.
yeah, we're the professional.
Bottom of the 4th inning, we have Garrett Means coming to the plate for the Cougars. Sam Tate on deck. Bradley Clark in the hole.
Welcome back to Sholo High School, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to the bottom of the 4th inning with the Cougars trailing the Lobos 7-0. We'd like to thank some of our sponsors today who help us bring this presentation to you. Ace Hardware of the White Mountains, Mountain Mobile Auto Glass, Sunrise Park Resort, Sholo Ford and Beeler Orthodontics. Thank you for making it capable. First batter in the bottom of the 4th inning for the Cougars is number 6, Garrett Means, the center fielder today.
And we're getting into the meat of the order here for Sholo, with Garrett Means in the 2 spot. So this is a place where Sholo needs to get their act together in terms of hitting the ball, getting some runners on, being down 7-zip. Man, that's a big curveball. Yeah, that's a really good curveball from Hansen. That time, we talked how he likes to start it outside and finish it on that outside edge. That time he brings it kind of towards the middle of the plate and breaks in on the hitter.
Means hits a fly ball to right center. The right fielder, Reedhead, drifting and is able to get under it to make the catch for out number 1. So Reedhead drifting with the ball. Looks like it might get over his head and is able to make the adjustment and make the catch.
Yeah, great piece of fielding there by Reedhead. Never, drifting back. Sometimes it's tough for fielders not being used to certain fields, but he never took his eyes off that ball, just kind of letting his athleticism just take it right to it to get the out.
The senior Sam Tate hits a ground ball to the right side. Second baseman fields it, hits off his chest, and can't grab it in time to make the throw at first base. So Sam Tate is on safely at first base for the Cougars.
Well, and a lot of that, too, you got to credit Tate with his speed out of the box. He wastes no time and does not break stride. I mean, he's hustling the whole way down to beat that throw. So a good piece of running by Sam Tate.
Great hustle, as you said, by Tate. Second baseman tries to make the play and just couldn't get hold of it. Stewart throws the ball too late. Pickoff attempt by Hansen, not in time. They're talking about the pace of gameplay in Major League Baseball. Right now, if they're watching Tyler Hansen pitch, this kid is ready to go. He does not waste any time.
Yeah, he likes to work fast. He also has a very good move to first. And Tate needs to watch out because he'll take big leads, will Sam Tate. And in fact, I think earlier in the first or second inning, Hansen was able to pick Tate off with that good move. So he needs to be careful here, does Sam Tate.
Yes, he was. Bradley Clark, the catcher for the Cougars, at the plate. Another pickoff attempt from Hansen. Tate is back safely. Not wandering quite as far as he did last time when he got picked off.
And Tate not bashful about trying to steal. He's among the leaders for the Cougars with 6 stolen bases this year.
The pitch from Hansen inside for ball 2.
And that's on 7 attempts. So Sam Tate, when he decides to go, he knows his odds are pretty high.
Hansen delivers. Clark hits a line drive.
Man, that's a tough play.
Over the second baseman's head, just gets a piece of it. The runner thought he caught it. Tate goes back to first base, but he actually dropped the ball when he landed.
I was going to say that's a great piece of fielding by Jake Stewart just to get back on that ball. And initially looked like it went through his webbing on, or was going to go over his glove completely, but he was able to get a glove on it, caught it, but then dropped it. Meanwhile, Sam Tate dancing back and forth trying to decide whether to go or not, but ultimately the bottom line is they do get Tate out at second.
First pitch to Logan Barton is fouled off for a strike. Not much Tate can do right there.
No,
it looks
dead
like
in the
Stewart
water
climbs the
either
ladder,
way.
makes the catch, and just can't quite hold on to it, and Tate was just stuck out there. Great play by Stewart to hang with it and get that out.
Well, and good range, showing good range is Jake Stewart there. Even though that ball didn't have a lot of heat behind it, just to be able to drift back that quickly, that far, that deep, because he was into the outfield. Clearly Jake Stewart, a second baseman with good range.
Barton at the plate for the Cougars, swings and misses for strike 2.
There's that curveball. Hansen's got a good breaking curveball. It's not an up-down 12-6 curveball, but it slides across, and it's tough on these hitters. Plus the change in speed, with that crisp fastball he throws, it makes it tough on these Cougar hitters.
And he tries it again, but it stays high and away for ball 1. So, along with that, not a lot of these hitters get to see lefties up here that throw that kind of a breaking pitch.
Yeah, absolutely.
Barton swings and fouls it off hard to the right side to stay alive, fighting it off.
That's a good piece of hitting by Barton. He knew he couldn't get on that pitch, turn on it, but it was close enough in the strike zone where he just punches it out to the first base side to stay alive.
Hansen sets and delivers to Barton. The pitch. Barton hits a slow roller to third baseman, tries to pick it up and just can't hang on to it. So I'd say give the kid a hit because that was going to be a tough play either way for the third baseman.
Well, and Ty Pollock, the third baseman for the Lobos, plays it right. You know, some guys will sit back and wait for it. Tyler just attacks that nubber of a grounder and just not able to cleanly field it. Otherwise, he would have had a shot at Barton at first base. But good piece of fielding there. And I agree. I mean, that's got to be scored a hit. Certainly wasn't an error.
Gaskill comes to the plate for the Cougars. He has runners at first and second. 2 outs. Top of the fourth. Cougars down 7-0. Tyler Hansen, the pitcher for the Lobos, from the stretch, delivers, fouled off to the right side. Strike one.
Well, at the top of the inning, we talked about this is the place, you know, where they're in the meat of the order, where the Cougars need to make a move, and they have so far. They have 2 outs now, but there's 2 runners on. So Gaskill in a place here where if they're going to get some runs, this is the place to do it.
And the pitch. Gaskill swings and fouls it straight back for strike number 2.
And he's among the leaders for these Cougars is Gaskill average-wise, bringing a .355 average into today's game. Only a couple of RBIs during the year, but regardless, in a position here where he can move some runners.
The pitch. Ball 2. Evens the count. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Runners at first and second. 2 outs. Deuces are wild. Hansen sets, gets the sign from his catcher Lamb. He delivers the breaking ball, hit back up the middle. Hansen's able to glove it, tosses over to the first baseman for out number 3. So at the end of 4 complete, the Cougars trail the Lobos 7-0 on Shola Ford's presentation of high school baseball at iTalk 106.7 FM and worldwide on the internet at iTalk1067.com.
There's the kick. It's a low line drive, taking it up across the 20. It's got some room with the 25, hammered down at the 30.
Are you a sports fan and business owner? You don't want to pass this up. White Mountain Youth Productions brings you local high school sports produced by high school students.
Gonna go deep, and it's caught. Unbelievable.
Your tax-deductible sponsorship keeps us up and running and gets you noticed.
And he'll gallop into the end zone.
Call 928-532-4160.
Need a fireplace? Ace has that. Need barbecue grills? Ace has that. Need paint? Ace is the best place for that. Need a chainsaw or weed eater? Ace has that too. Ace can even fix your chainsaw and your weed eater. Ace Hardware has everything you need for your home improvement project. They even have a 24/7 locksmith. Locked out of your home or car? Their mobile unit will come to you. That's your helpful place. Ace Hardware of the White Mountains in Pinetop, Overguard, and Shola.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Shola High School and Shola Ford's presentation of high school baseball. You're listening to us on iTalk 106.7 FM, and we're also streaming live on the World Wide Web at iTalk1067.com. Greg Chavez along with Punt Cooley. Today's game, going in the top of the 5th inning, we have the Lobos leading the Cougars 7-0. The Lobos have not been scared to swing the bat today, Punt, and they've been putting the ball in play, not errors by the Cougars or anything like that, but just hitting the ball well and finding all the holes in the defense.
Yeah, and great, well-timed hits at that. You know, as you say, when the runners are on, they've been finding a way to move them around, sometimes with just little singles here and there, but other times with some good punches out into the outfield. So all around, just a great hitting job by the Lobos. As a complete team, great hitting job today by the entire team. So kudos to them so far.
We will have a new pitcher on the mound for the Cougars. Jerem Fawcett coming to the hill. So Fawcett steps off after his warm-up pitches, ties his shoe, takes a deep breath, and he gets on the mound. He's set. For the Lobos, Tyler Claridge steps into the box. The first pitch from Fawcett. Right down the middle. That Claridge lines back up the middle for a base hit.
So first pitch fastball right over the middle of the plate, a little high in the zone, and Claridge turns on it, at least turns enough to get it right over second base for the easy base hit. So another great start by the Lobos. This is what we've seen them do pretty much consistently the entire game. Get those early hitters on base, and then the later hitters coming up, finding a way to move them around.
So this brings up Taryn Reedhead first time. Grounded out to the third baseman. Last time up, a little pop up to the pitcher. Fawcett pickoff attempt to first base, and Claridge gets back in safely.
Good quick move that time by Fawcett, forcing Claridge to dive back in, trying to keep the runner honest here early.
The pitch. Reedhead swings and fouled off to the left side as Claridge was attempting to steal the base. He'll have to return to first. We got 1-1.
Looked like Snowflake had a hit and run on that time. Claridge going on the pitch, and who's the hitter? Sorry.
Taryn Reedhead.
Taryn Reedhead.
The sophomore for Snowflake.
Right, trying to punch it out in that gap with the shortstop covering, trying to hit that gap, fouls it off instead.
Claridge at first, Reedhead at the dish, looked to Hathaway for the signals. Fawcett, the pickoff attempt.
That was close. That was real
and
close.
Claridge is able to get back in safely.
So Fawcett again, impressed with his move. He's quick with those feet. Turns quickly to go to first, just not in time that time.
Looks over his shoulder, checks the runner, who gets back again safely. He has shortened his lead, though, after the last pickoff attempt. So Fawcett keeping Claridge close at first base. Reedhead looks down to Coach Clay Hathaway for the Lobos. Fawcett gets the signal from Clark. He sets. Looks at the runner. The pitch. The runner goes. And a swing and a foul ball by Reedhead. So, again, Claridge getting his workout on the steals, and Reedhead keeps fouling him off. So,
yeah.
Claridge trots back to first base.
Well, that was the inside pitch. Reedhead turned on it quickly, trying to get it down that first base side, hitting behind the runner that time, but just pulls it foul. So a classic pitcher-hitter battle here with a runner on first.
Taryn Reedhead down in the count 0-2. Fawcett pickoff attempt first base. Claridge is able to get back in. Well, if his uniform wasn't dirty before this last at-bat for Claridge, his mom's going to have to use a lot of stain remover now.
Yeah, for sure.
All that red dirt just all over him. Reedhead settles in the box. Fawcett on the mound. Clark asking for the high pitch, and it's low. Yeah. Reedhead lines it to the left center grab. 2 bounces to the fence. Here comes Claridge around third base. Hathaway waving him in. Here comes Claridge coming in for the 8th run of the afternoon for the Shola Lobos. Taryn Reedhead with a double, getting an RBI.
Big RBI that time, finding that gap between left and center. It goes all the way to the fence, forcing the outfielder. That looks like Brewer now moving into the left field. He has to go pick it up right at the base of the fence. That's a long throw for an outfielder with the runner going from first to home. Good job by Claridge turning the bases there to get the score.
Well, Claridge never let up, checked with Coach Hathaway from the very beginning off the crack of the bat, and he just kept waving that arm, and Claridge stayed going 100% and they scored easily.
Well, real quick, I'd like to mention again, you know, we're streaming this game today live, italk1067.com, and ultimately on channel 56 Sholo, Monday and Friday at 7, Saturdays on 1:30. And we'd like to thank our student folks helping produce the production today, our technical director, Sky Perez, audio, Nicole Jones, graphics, Isaiah Miller, camera work today, Stephanie Fragoso, Dakota Hayes, Joseph Pierce, Dominic Stem, and our executive producer, Brian Hanlon. And thanks also to Mel West from Channel 56 Sholo for today's production.
Stewart grounds out to the second baseman for the first out of the inning, but in doing so, he's able to score Taryn Reedhead, who advanced on a wild pitch, making it score 9-0, Lobos on top.
So again, these last 2 innings for the Lobos, big in terms of putting up runs and really making it tough here for the Cougars in their last home game, senior day today for the Sholo Cougars.
Ty Pollock in the box for the Lobos, swings at the first pitch, low and in the dirt.
Jerem Fawcett, the catcher comes out, Bradley Clark to talk to his pitcher, and Jerem's got a big grin on his face. Didn't mean to have his catcher have to work that hard to gather up his pitch.
Tells Clark, I'm sorry for you having to block that pitch, take it off your forearm, but we'll take the strike. So Pollock steps back in the box, gets his sign from Coach Hathaway, who's at third base. Coach Craner at first base. The pitch from Fawcett. Fouled off by Pollock. Strike 2. 0-2 on Pollock. Fawcett working at a good pace. Not quite as fast as Hansen, but not wasting any time nonetheless. He's already back on the mound. Gets his sign from Clark. Takes a deep breath. From the windup. 0-2 pitch to Pollock. Down the middle. Pollock swings. Clark looks up and is fouled out of play. Cougars trailing the Lobos 9-0 in the top of the 5th inning. See if the Cougars can get this out and get back in and get their bats started. Fawcett delivers to Pollock. The pitch, breaking ball, and Pollock is able to sit back on that punt and fouls it off to stay alive.
That's a good pitch by Fawcett, though, bringing it inside off that, off the hands a little bit. Pollock, as you say, doing a good job just kind of fighting it off.
So everybody resets. Fawcett from the windup. Pollock sees the pitch. Swings another shot to the left center. One hop to the fence. Pollock at second base looks at Coach Hathaway and decides to stop for a double. Great piece of hitting by Pollock after fighting off 2 or 3 pitches to stay alive.
Yeah, great piece of hitting indeed. Hits it almost to the exact same spot that another Lobo drove the ball to be able to score Claridge from first. I believe that was J.R. Fox, if I'm not mistaken. Or
yes,
I'm kind of getting lost in the lineup here. But, yeah, Snowflake just consistently from top to bottom through their lineup doing a great job. They've been getting hitting production out of every spot in their lineup, which is obviously one of the reasons why they're at the top of the section and going to be one of the highest seeded teams coming out of this section into the state tournament that starts Saturday.
Hansen steps up to the plate for the Lobos from the left side. First pitch from Fawcett. Hansen swings, and it's down the left field line. Hathaway waving in the runner. Pollock from second base. The left fielder picks up the ball, throws it in, and Hansen is in safely for a stand-up double.
And again, another high fastball. That one up over on the outside edge of the plate, and Hansen just goes with it, pushes it hard out into the outfield. Well-hit ball all the way to the fence again. Jace Brewer getting a workout out. He started the game in right, and they move him to left with a pitching change, and he's been burning calories here in this inning for sure.
So we have Wood headed back out to second base to be the courtesy runner for the pitcher. Watching this today by the Lobos with their bats, I had the opportunity to be in Morenci over the weekend and watch a couple of the higher seeds from down south, Thatcher and Wilcox. And Wilcox reminds me a lot of what the Lobos are doing today. I mean, these kids just crushing the ball.
Yeah. Lobos a very good hitting team, and showing that in spades here today for sure. Like I said earlier, it's not just 1 or 2 guys. It's pretty consistently through their entire lineup.
So coming to the plate, it looks like we have a substitution. Number 16, Jake Lyman coming to the plate. Lyman sees the first pitch from Fawcett, swings, and it's to the right side. Right fielder drifts over and can't make the catch. The ball falls. Right fielder fires the ball back in, so the runner advances from second base to put runners at the corner with 2 outs.
That looks like Nick Reedhead, who moved from first into right. So Lyman coming off the bench cold, and I think that was the first pitch of his at-bat, able to drive it out into right field. And Nick Reedhead having a tough time with that sun. That can be pretty tough this time of day. Reedhead able to get a glove on it, but it just bounces out of the kind of the palm of his hand.
Coach
on
Hathaway
that glove side.
Coming out to talk to his pitcher. Coach Brandon Todd with the book talking to the home plate umpire. We have runners at first and third. Top of the 5th. 10-0. Lobos over the Cougars right now. There is a 10. If the Cougars can't score any runs when they come back up. At the current time, we have a 10-0 lead by the Lobos. If it stays at this, the Cougars will have to score 1 run to stay alive in this game when they come up in the bottom of the 5th inning.
So regardless, the Cougars would need to be within 10 runs after their next at-bat for it to go to the next inning.
Yes.
Is that right?
They actually have to be within 9 because if there's a 10-run lead, the game would be over.
You're right.
So runners at the corners. 1 out, top of the 5th inning. At the plate, number 13 coming in for the Lobos, Dallin Reedhead will be the pinch hitter. for the Lobos. Coach Craner trying to get some of the kids off of his bench, get them in at bat. Coach Hathaway walks back to the dugout after talking to Fawcett. Runners at the corners, 1 out, bottom of the 5th, 10-0 lead for the Lobos. Dallin Reedhead at the plate. First pitch from Fawcett. Down the middle. Reedhead swings, another little blooper to the right side that's going to fall just out of reach of the second baseman. And another run scores for the Lobos, making it an 11-0 lead.
So even the bench guys getting up, you know, they're not wasting any time. They see pitches they like, and they're taking cuts at them. That time Reedhead hits, you know, he kind of put a lot of backspin, hitting the bottom half of that ball, kind of off the fist on that second base gap between second and first. But regardless, it falls in for a hit for number 13, Dallin Reedhead. So a good piece of hitting by him as well.
J.R. Fox steps to the plate for the Lobos. And Fawcett's throwing some good pitches. Some of these kids just aren't hitting the ball all that hard, but they're just falling where the Cougar players can't get to it.
Well, I think that's what makes this Lobo team good. They're not trying to power the ball at all. They see the pitch, they get the barrel out there, and they're just making hits. And you don't see anybody spinning in their shoes when they swing. Just well-disciplined hitters waiting for good pitches.
The pitch from Fawcett. Fox swings, a ground ball to the left side, foul ball, strike 1. 2-1 count on J.R. Fox of the Lobos. Jaron Fawcett, the Cougar pitcher. From the stretch, runners on first and second. Fawcett checks the runner at second base, checks him again. The pitch to Fox. Strike 2, the runners advance as the ball just able to get away from Clark.
Yeah, when just punches off the top, at the very end of his glove, Bradley Clark, the catcher's mitt. He was in position. He just didn't get didn't get it into the webbing. So just a small little play like that. We got 2 runners moving. Again, Snowflake, big advantage here. Runners on second and third with only 1 out.
Fox swings, ground ball to the third baseman. Barton looks the runner back to third base, makes the throw across the diamond, and Reedhead is able to pick it up for out number 2. Great play by Barton, looking the runner back, make sure nobody advances, and gets the second out of the inning.
Yeah, perfect play by Barton, does the right thing, holds that runner, actually goes to the bag to bring him back before throwing to first to get the out.
This will bring up the Lobo catcher, Matt Lamb, with 2 outs in the inning. Lamb swings and a blooper to the right side, foul ball, strike 1.
So another good pitch by Fawcett. You know, he's been working that strike zone, has Fawcett. We haven't seen him throw many wild pitches at all today. Pretty consistent.
Lamb at the dish, trying to score those 2 runs that are in scoring position. Pops it up, Clark looks, it's out of play, strike 2. So right now, the Lobos are in a little bit of a predicament here. They have runners at second and third, 2 outs, Lamb at the plate. They're down 11-0 right now, so they're trying to keep it at that score so they can come back in and hopefully get a couple runs to keep themselves in the ballgame. Lamb sees the pitch from Fawcett.
Good
and he
pitch.
swings for strike 3 for the 3rd out. At the end of 5.5 innings, Lobos 11, Cougars 0 on Sholo Ford's presentation of high school baseball on iTalk 106.7 FM and streaming live on the web at iTalk1067.com.
It's my town.
Sholo is football and party town, especially when you show up at Sholo Ford's Great American Tailgate event. Even if you just got your license, show up for the lowest price and longest warranty. Brand new Fords, all with our lifetime engine warranty. Not 3 years or 6, not 10 years or 100,000 miles. No way. Our warranty is forever. Come into Sholo Ford this week. Take delivery of a new Ford or pre-owned vehicle. New 2014 Ford F-150 Super Cruise, just $30,495. New 2014 Ford Focus SE, just $19,995. Or new 2014 Ford Fiestas, $13,995. Plus, every new Sholo Ford truck comes ready to tailgate with a Yeti cooler. Sholo Ford's Great American Tailgate event. It's party time at the east end of the Deuce.
Oh, this is my town.
senior Darren Fawcett coming to the plate for the Cougars. Nick Reedhead on deck. Nicholas in the hole.
Hello, everybody. This is Greg Chavez alongside Punk Cooley with Sholo Ford's presentation of high school baseball, coming to you live from Sholo High School. The visiting Snowflake Lobos lead the Cougars in the bottom of the 5th inning, 11-0. Ladies and gentlemen, don't forget about Sunrise Park Resort. Although the skiing might be over, we have great summer events coming in May. Scenic lift rides, downhill mountain biking, hunting, fishing, and more. Go to sunriseskipark.com for details. Up to bat for the Cougars, the bottom of the 5th inning. Cougars need to score 2 runs to stay in the game. Is the pitcher, number 3, Jerem Fawcett. Sees the first 2 pitches from Tyler Hansen for a 2-0 count.
Well, and just quickly to reflect on the keys of the game that we had talked about at the top of the game, Greg, you know, for Sholo, they wanted to get out early and kind of punch the Lobos in the face by putting some runs up. Clearly, they've not been able to do that. Meanwhile, Snowflake's key, good slide into second. As I was talking, you know, that's a good hit out into the outfield by Fawcett, and slides into second under the tag. Mind you, that was a close play at second, but he's under the tag to get the double. So a good piece of hitting by Fawcett.
Fawcett hits it to the right center gap. Reedhead's able to get over there and cut it off, makes a strong throw to second base, and Fawcett just beats the throw in from Reedhead. So with Fawcett at the plate, Fawcett at second base, Reedhead at the plate. No outs in the Cougar 5th inning. Cougars trying to get 2 runs across at a minimum to push this game into the next inning. Reedhead sees the pitch from Hansen. A breaking ball, swings and misses over the top of it. Strike 2.
And again, that's that big curveball by Hansen. Slides across the plate to the inside half, and tough pitch to hit after looking at fastballs.
Hansen delivers, and a swing and a miss for strike 3 from Nick Reedhead. First out in the 5th inning for the Cougars.
And Hansen, you know, we've been talking about it. He likes to work quickly. He wastes no time just cutting through these hitters. I'm actually surprised that some of these hitters aren't kind of trying to slow him down a little bit by stepping out, maybe breaking his rhythm. But regardless, Hansen's been pretty consistent, pretty powerful in terms of placing his pitches and changing his pitches. So doing a great job for the Lobos today.
That brings the DH, Chandler Nicholas, to the plate for the Cougars. Swings a chopper to the left side. Third baseman picks it up, throws across the diamond. Out number 2, the first baseman picks it up, throws across the diamond. Safe at third base.
That's a great play by the Lobos defensively. Pollock picks up that grounder to get the runner at first. And then the shortstop, Claridge, coming over to cover to that throw back to third and make it very close at third base, but they'll call Jerem Fawcett again safe, going in under the slide.
That brings Brewer to the plate for the Cougars. Cougars are down 11-0 at the bottom of the 5th inning. Runner at third base is Fawcett. Hansen delivers for ball 1. The pitch, a hit to the right field, and Taryn Reedhead drifts back about 3 or 4 steps, catches the ball for out number 3, and that will be the ball game. So at the end of 5 and the completion of the game due to run rule, the Lobos have defeated the Cougars 11-0. You're listening to iTalk, Sholo Ford's presentation of high school baseball on iTalk 106.7 and live on the web at iTalk1067.com.
There's the kick. It's a low line drive, taking it up across the 20. It's got some room with the 25, hammered down at the 30.
Are you a sports fan and business owner? You don't want to pass this up. White Mountain Youth Productions brings you local high school sports produced by high school students.
Gonna go deep, and it's caught. Unbelievable.
Your tax-deductible sponsorship keeps us up and running and gets you noticed.
He'll gallop into the end zone.
Call 928-532-4160.
Need a fireplace? Ace has that. Need barbecue grills? Ace has that. Need paint? Ace is the best place for that. Need a chainsaw or weed eater? Ace has that too. Ace can even fix your chainsaw and your weed eater. Ace Hardware has everything you need for your home improvement project. They even have a 24/7 locksmith. Locked out of your home or car? Their mobile unit will come to you. That's your helpful place. Ace Hardware of the White Mountains in Pinetop, Overguard, and Show Low.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Show Low High School. Greg Chavez alongside Punt Cooley. We're going to be talking to you about the Honda Outdoor Ski and Sports Store Player of the Game. Honda Ski and Outdoor, the best selection of hiking, hunting, fishing, camping gear on the mountain. Go to Honda Outdoor Ski and Sports Store south of Pinetop on Highway 260. We're going to talk about some of the players here, Punt, and we had a Tyler Hansen on the mound for the Lobos, who pitched very well today, kept going really quick. He's one of our finalists for today's selection for Player of the Game.
Yeah, hard not to be, give him some consideration. And then we also talked about how well just throughout the lineup the Lobos hit the ball today, so that makes it even tougher, when you look how much production the coach is getting out of all these different spots in his lineup. And, clearly a team that's doing well at the time you want them to do well, right before they head into the state tournament. They have one more game, I believe, if that's right, this week against Winslow, which is another big game as far as seeding in the tournament. But clearly, Coach Craner's got to be feeling pretty good about where his Lobos are right now. Everyone's healthy. Obviously, they're hitting the ball well and getting some good pitching production. So they had another great outing today by Tyler Hansen, their ace. He had mentioned, Coach Craner did at the top of the game, about perhaps maybe limiting his innings, but I think he didn't pull him because he was so efficient. I mean, his pitch count today overall, Hansen's pitch count had to be fairly low. I mean, he had some really short innings there. I think one inning, maybe a couple of them went 1, 2, 3 against the Lobo or the Cougars. So, clearly he's in a good spot after finishing the game today to be in good standing, good condition, I guess you could say, for that first round of the state tournament that starts Saturday.
Yeah, he'll get a few days rest, and they will probably play. They'll play at either 4 or 6:30, as Coach told you. Just those are the times for all the Division III games. One of the other possibilities for the Lobos would be Ty Pollock, who was 2 for 3 today with 2 doubles. So we will discuss that a little bit, ladies and gentlemen. Come back to you with our Player of the Game selection and some final thoughts before we head on to the state tournament, as you're listening to Show Low Ford's presentation of high school baseball on iTalk 106.7 FM and streaming live on the web at iTalk1067.com.
There's the kick. It's a low line drive, taking it up across the 20. We've got some room with the 25, hammered down at the 30.
Are you a sports fan and business owner? You don't want to pass this up. White Mountain Youth Productions brings you local high school sports produced by high school students.
Gonna go deep, and it's caught. Unbelievable.
Your tax-deductible sponsorship keeps us up and running and gets you noticed.
And he'll gallop into the end zone.
Call 928-532-4160.
Need a fireplace? Ace has that. Need barbecue grills? Ace has that. Need paint? Ace is the best place for that. Need a chainsaw or weed eater? Ace has that too. Ace can even fix your chainsaw and your weed eater. Ace Hardware has everything you need for your home improvement project. They even have a 24/7 locksmith. Locked out of your home or car? Their mobile unit will come to you. That's your helpful place. Ace Hardware of the White Mountains in Pinetop, Overguard, and Show Low.
Hello, everybody in Radio Land and on the World Wide Web, italk1067.com. Greg Chavez, punt coolie, coming back to you with the player of the game, brought to you by Honda Outdoor Ski and Sports. For the best selection of hiking, hunting, fishing, camping gear on the mountain, go to Honda Ski and Outdoor, south of Pine Top on Highway 260. Punt, we talked a little bit about it prior to the last break, and we have decided to go with Tyler Hansen today.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, as far as his production on the mound, just a great job. He never really got into much trouble. I mean, you got to credit his defense, had a really solid defensive game from his teammates today, but at the same time did not put himself in a position as a starting pitcher of where he fell behind hitters much. Sholo was able to get some runners on, but still, he did a great job recovering. His combination of pitches, the way he was moving his pitches around the strike zone today just made it tough on those hitters, and just did a great job. And then from the plate, on the hitting side of things, we see him hit a couple of great shots into the outfield, some of the better hit balls today coming from Hansen, and I think ending up with a couple of RBIs as a result. So, it's hard to do much better than that. Start the game as your pitcher, and then also get big production from the batter's box. So I think clearly, although there were other players on that that Snowflake club, had big hits at key moments to get some of the other runs in, and we certainly don't want to discount their play. And some, like I said earlier, some really good fielding all the way around throughout the entire Snowflake lineup. I think clearly Tyler Hansen, his light shined the brightest today in my mind.
I agree with you. I have Hansen finishing with 7 strikeouts on the day on the mound, 2 for 3 with the walk, both hits doubles.
Yep.
So
hard to beat
I'm
that.
with you on that. A little more information for you, ladies and gentlemen. We will be bringing you state playoff high school baseball and softball this weekend, starting on Saturday. Actually, softball might start on Friday, but we will be bringing you softball from the Rose Bofford Complex in Phoenix, and Division III baseball from the Surprise Baseball Complex in Surprise, Arizona. You can listen to us on iTalk 1067 FM, or if you have the internet access, iTalk1067.com. Myself, Punt, we'll have another couple crews working different games across the Phoenix metro area for the playoffs. The Lobos win today, number 12. They play Winslow tomorrow. Like you said, that's going to be a big section game for them. So
yeah, and both of those teams are, I think, 1-2 in our section or close to it. I'm not sure where Blue Ridge is, but they're the third team that's up there in this section. Clearly, all three of those teams will make the tournament. We talked about Sholo, not sure if they're kind of close to the bubble there. We'll just have to wait and see how the dust settles. I think they're putting the seedings out Thursday morning, is what I heard, through AIA. So anybody that's interested, you can log in and check that out. But regardless, we're going to be there Saturday, as you say, covering those games in Surprise.
Yes, so we will be covering one of the White Mountain teams, hopefully 2 games, ladies and gentlemen. So we will be bringing you baseball, whether it be Snowflake, Blue Ridge, Sholo, or Winslow. Somebody from this section will be live on the radio and internet.
And let me go through this again real quick. Of course, we're doing radio, but also White Mountain Youth Productions and Sholo TV. We'd like to thank the crew there. Technical director today, Sky Perez. Great job by her. Audio, Nicole Jones. Graphics, Isaiah Miller. Camera work today, thanks to Stephanie Fragoso, Dakota Hayes, Joseph Pierce, Dominic Stem. Our executive producer and always our go-to guy helps us with all the little things that make a huge difference, Brian Hanlon. Thanks to him. And then, of course, Mel West, Channel 56, and Mr. Brewer from Sholo High School. Is that right? I'm sorry, Mr. Butler from Sholo High School. Thanks to him for all his work of keeping all these cats rounded up as best he can. So great job by him.
With that, we'd like to also thank Royce, who's back in the studio, keeping us going.
Royce Kincaid.
And
welcome
ladies
back,
and gentlemen, we hope to see you on Saturday from the Phoenix metro area. Whether you're listening or watching baseball or softball, we will be there. And we will see you then as you listen to Sholo Ford's presentation of high school baseball on iTalk 1067 FM or live on the web, iTalk1067.com. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.